Welcome, one and all, episode 5
This
of
many.
the Wide 80 podcast. As always, same group of guys, no different. We got to my left, short stuff, golf himself. It's always a pleasure when he can grace us with his presence whenever he's not tearing it up on the fairway. Colby is in the building. How we doing, Colby?
Doing fantastic. Feel good to be here, brother. Ready to talk sports.
Ready to talk some sports and stuff? And underneath me, we talk about it every week.
Every week.
The 2023. And again, we got to keep saying it because once 2024 season starts, that's gone.
Yeah. Well, the end of
2023
this, that's it.
fantasy baseball champion Chandler is in the building. He's looking spiffy, looking
Howdy, y'all.
great. He's got how many drinks are you in?
1 1/4. So we're
Okay.
good.
So
About to get spicy.
the spicy takes are incoming. Juan Soto is a curse to every team.
Just the lineup. Just the lineup.
Just the lineup.
The dude's a beast, but just the lineup.
As always, want to plug the social medias. Follow us on TikTok. We post clips on TikTok and YouTube pretty much daily. The only days I don't do it is when we're recording today and tomorrow when I upload, obviously, the full podcast. But Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, clips every single day on TikTok and YouTube. Just search Wide 80 Podcast. You'll see the blue logo. That's us. And we
We're
are
getting some
here.
traction, so y'all keep it up.
Dude,
Getting some
keep
traction.
arguing in the comments. Keep telling me. So, real quick, obviously I put myself out there every week and I give y'all a parlay. Has the parlays hit? No. Have they been close? Yes. But does it matter? No. Okay. And I literally out-polited somebody to have them delete their comment. So obviously, if any of y'all watched the UFC last week, my lock of the day was a good pick in the first round, wasn't a good pick when it got to the second and third round. So I chose Yair Rodriguez over Brian Ortega. Yair Rodriguez almost finishes Ortega in the first round. He was saved by the bell. And then obviously he got tapped out in the third round. Someone commented and said, well, that aged well. And I commented and replied, I said, no kidding. I'll get him next time. And then they deleted the whole comment. So no one wants
taking us down 2 comments, man. Way to
go. Because I wasn't trying to, engage with the negative energy. They said, I don't even want to be a part of it. I don't even want to be a part of this.
He didn't get what he wanted.
The old bait and switch.
I love every single comment and I appreciate it. And I'm going to hit one of these days. But like I said, if you don't want to, if I'm always wrong on the parlay, do the opposite. If I'm betting one way, there's another way, so keep that in mind. But it's a great day to be here. A great Thursday. We're on routine as usual. We are I guess we're going to kind of finish off what we started in football. Week after week, we've been kind of going after each position and saying where these free agents are going to go it's combine time right now in the NFL. So we are approaching. Things are happening. We're officially off season time. So we're just going to kind of go over the top free agents on the defensive side of the ball and kind of give our take of where we think they are going to go. So I want to get started and get your guys' opinion on where you think these guys might land. And I want to start with Leonard Williams. Chandler, where's Leonard Williams going to go?
Yeah, and y'all bear with us through this because spotting defensive players, like everybody needs defense. Defense wins championships, right? They're not skill position players where it's like, oh my gosh, they have a gaping hole at wide receiver that they need to fill, right? I've got Leonard Williams going to another bird, and that is the Atlanta Falcons. I think they test him out on a 1-year deal. They've got the cap space to meet what he was just paid with Seattle this last year at $20 million. They've got a new head coach who is defensive minded. they'll solve their QB issues in the draft and focus on defense and free agency. I think this guy is an absolute monster, and if he can get in the right scheme, we're gonna see a different side of Leonard Williams. Outside of Seattle, definitely outside of Seattle.
Definitely outside of Seattle. Colby, Leonard Williams.
So Seattle's upside down in their salary cap, so I don't see them, trying to go for him. I see Cincinnati Bengals trying to get somebody like that.
Yeah.
They have Trey Hendrickson over there, and I think that they're trying to have somebody compliment him, and I think that they're wanting to, beef it up down there in the trenches. So I do see them trying to make a pull for that guy. I see him going to Cincinnati.
I like that.
And let me tell you, that's not the only time someone's going to mention the Bengals in this segment. So I love it. I love that take. Hey guys, Leonard Williams is going to the Texans.
No,
dude. Here's the thing. Look, everyone's going to the Texans. No,
yeah, always, yeah, everybody.
Look, we say it week after week. I'm not trying to sound like a homer. Texans have a lot of money. They have a defensive coach who was a Pro Bowl linebacker. And if you asked me, outside of playmaking on the offense, where do I think the Texans would want to invest? I would say defensive line, right? So you have your edges, right? You have Jonathan Grenard, you have Will Anderson. 300-pound Leonard Williams would be great in that 4 lineman set next to Malik. His name is escaping me. But no, I definitely think Leonard Williams as a down technique lineman will definitely be amped up to play for D'Amico Ryans. And then imagine that pass rush. Jonathan Grenard has missed a lot of games in his career thus far. Definitely. Malik Collins, god damn it. Definitely could see Houston investing in a sizable contract for someone who's going to stay on the field to rush the passer. So I think Leonard Williams could potentially go to the Houston Texans. We're getting to a point where I think everybody's going to the Texans. I'm going to be right. If I keep saying it for every player, I'm going to be right once.
Eventually you're hit, right?
Yeah, like I mean, a law of averages is a thing.
He's going to hit.
That's what I'm saying. All right. I think we're kind of in the same ballpark here, so this one might be a little quicker. Patrick Queen had a breakout season for the Ravens, is a fan favorite over there. I say he resigns. Chandler, Colby, what we got?
Take it away, Cheese.
1, 2, 3. Resigns.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I don't see them getting rid of.
What would you do? What would you do? I mean,
career year with the
Ravens.
Go ahead, sign him.
Was a leader on the defense.
I think he made just under $5 million last year, right at $5 million. So I'm thinking like a 2-year contract worth 10 to 12.
Dude.
So keep him for a couple, because I think the Ravens try to go back to back.
This one actually this next guy, some reports came out today that the team is growing confidence that he will return. Obviously, nothing is for sure. The most highly, I guess, the biggest defensive free agent, Chris Jones of the Kansas City Chiefs. I think he's going back. Why wouldn't you? But I don't know if you guys have different opinions, but what do you think, Chris Jones?
Yeah, I actually think they tag him. Not even give him a year contract. I think they tag him. The tag is only $4 to $5 million more than his last year was. So not that big of an investment, but also not too much of a commitment. And I think they tag him for the sole purpose of a 3-peat.
Yeah, I mean, and it just as a defensive player, there has to be some part of your job that's better when that offense is on the other side. And then we can get into the Justin Jefferson talks later on. But Colby, Chris Jones.
About the tag, wouldn't it cost them $32 million?
I think 20,
if they tagged him?
21, I think, for a
21 mil.
Tackle. Highest tag is a quarterback, right?
Yeah.
I don't know where I read it was 32 million, but anyways, that would be a big hit in my opinion if
It's
it was
a huge
that.
hit, yeah.
But either way, I don't see Kansas City wanting to get rid of something that worked. Chris Jones has been so good for so long, and especially in the playoffs.
Monster.
But if the Kansas City
this is
Chiefs
what I'm here for. The ifs.
if the Kansas City Chiefs don't sign Chris Jones, he's going to the Texans.
Yo, that's the thing is that's not the first time I've
Ooh.
heard that. That's
Yeah.
not the first time I've heard that. But
Yeah, I see the Texans wanting to beef it up down there too. So bring it. I
right,
think
so
they're
we
gonna
have
go
the
for him.
same idea, different
Same
guys.
mentality. Yep.
I love it.
Yep.
I love it. I'll tell you, Colby's gonna win Employee of the Month at the podcast for his takes. He got what do you got? He got the Texans getting Chris Jones,
Evans,
Saquon
Chris
Barkley,
Jones.
Mike Evans. The Chiefs are gonna get Austin Eckler. Dude, I love it.
Yeah.
So next,
defensive franchise tag right now, 20.9 million.
20.9 million. That's
That's
money.
That's third behind
Okay.
linebacker, behind quarterback.
That's crazy.
Okay.
Okay,
You got
so
Wild that it's ahead of wide receiver.
yeah. The next defensive guy I have, an interesting name, a popular name, Chase Young, just ran it with the 49ers after being traded there. This is where I was saying the Bengals, I think the Cincinnati Bengals make a run at Chase Young. Hendrickson, Young, let's get it done. I know that there's a lot of critiques of Chase Young. They're kind of undecided on if he's that guy or not, but I definitely think Cincinnati Bengals, good place for him. Chandler, what do you think?
Yeah, I've got the same kind of the same mentality as far as go pair him with somebody. I've got him going to the Raiders to pair him with Max Crosby. And I'm thinking they
Boy,
sign him on a 1-year deal. He only made 6 mil last year. I don't know if y'all know that. So you could get him on a 1-year deal for 8 to 10, and he'll be happy. You'll be happy. And they've got plenty of cap space to work with. I definitely think it's an experiment to see how well he meshes with the defense. Again, Antonio Pierce, defensive head coach, defensive minded head coach rather. So I'm curious to see if it happens and then how they get used together, because Crosby's a beast by himself, and you throw somebody like Young on the other side. I think the results are better than the Bosa Young duo.
Crosby is that's a
He's a
dude.
freak, man, and I would never say that to his face because it terrifies the shit out of me. But
That's a scary guy.
yeah, that is
Colby, Chase Young.
I see this team going for Chase Young because they were just dog poop last year. I think that they can afford a lot of people. I think that they're just gonna try and beef up their defense, start getting something going, and I think the Arizona Cardinals are gonna try and sign this guy. I think the number 2
I
overall
like
pick
that.
that still sticks out. I still think that holds weight to people, regardless of how he's been playing. He's a freak of nature too, so it's like he could. Oh, maybe he needs a change of scenery to be the best person on the team, because the Niners, man, you got so many players on that team, you kind of get clouded, you know. But yeah, I do see the Arizona Cardinals trying to reach out to that guy to make their defense at least, contendable.
I
Yeah,
could see him in a Cardinals jersey.
yeah, that makes
Yeah.
a lot of sense. And I think the Niners, even though their team is pretty beefed up, I will see them try to move some things around. And I don't think Chase Young did enough with his tenure to make them want to invest in him long term. Maybe if he does go back to San Fran, it might be another 1-year deal. As a man, as just a provider, do you want to keep taking 1-year deals, or do you want something with a little more insurance there? And
Yeah, you can only
Colby,
imagine he's looking for some
yeah,
stability.
and Colby's Arizona pick, they might overpay him for him to go over there. So
It's a good thought.
that makes perfect sense. Last guy, and then we'll move on. Danielle Hunter. What we got?
Take it away, Colby.
I think this may be spicy because this team is in the same division as the Vikings. I think that the Detroit Lions might try and go get this guy. I think they'll try to get,
I love it.
it's a, you're taking a badass off of this team and putting it on yours. You're making
Him
their
and
defense worse.
Hutchinson?
Yeah, it would be
Good
Aiden Hutchinson
Lord.
and him. So I think that would be something that'd be a Detroit line move to do too. So I
It
would,
would.
I
Chandler, it's
definitely,
on you. Me and
Yeah.
Colby got the same pick. I got Detroit Lions.
I'm
I think
hoping
it's
that guy
beautiful.
likes kneecaps. Yeah, I've got him going to the Jaguars. Yeah,
That's a
similar
good
thought
one.
process. Pair him with Josh Allen, who I know he's a free agent as well, but their general manager is already stated that he's extremely committed to keeping Josh Allen on the defensive side of the ball there. And I think he gets a similar deal to Patrick Queen. They had a similar structure last year, or I guess ending this year. So again, 2-year deal, maybe 10 to 12 million. That's a pay bump for him, and that's a little bit of I guess time for the Jaguars to have those two guys.
That's perfect. Yeah. I'm gonna tell you what. I was not super pumped. Like, you're not as pumped up about defensive players as you are as
It's different.
quarterbacks and
It's
receivers.
different. Yeah.
But I love every team that you guys came with for these players. That was so much fun.
I think it's the only time we've had overwhelming similarities. So
I think it's the first time. I mean, we've had the Texans and the
sure.
Ravens on some
Texans, baby.
stuff, but me and Colby getting the Lions, and we didn't do research together.
Yeah.
That was just, he came up with that on his own, and so did I. That's crazy. Shout out. That's brother telepathy.
Yep. Are y'all twins?
Yeah, just 6 years apart.
6 years apart. But
That's
we're
not
twins.
bad.
But twins. Yeah, you can't see it. Perfect. So that will lead us to the best time of the night. We are doing another draft every single episode. We come to you with a different sports related draft. We did most exciting players last week. This week, we're kind of doing a little bit of a twist, still sports related. We are doing the best sports movies of all time. You guys know the rules. The pool is obviously best sports movies. We each will have a team of 5, and you guys let us know who has the best lineup. And Colby, you have first pick. Talk to me.
And before we kick off, fellas, I just want to say, not one person has voted in the comments as far as who's won with these, right?
This is bullshit.
So
No
little
winner in
wager
this.
out there. I don't know if it means anything. I'm new here, right? Week 5. What's up?
I like that you put it in weeks. That's really sports of you to put it
Week
in
5.
weeks.
Yeah, or pregnancies. It's either sporty or pregnant.
I don't want to talk about that right now.
Yeah, first person to comment who actually wins one of these drafts. Maybe we give them a shout out or something meaningful on the next pod. We'll just have to wait and see.
I'll be sure to comment. Colby, first overall pick in the best sports movie of all time. I'm the commissioner. Who you got?
So I have all-time greatest that I watch 100 times over, and I'll still want to watch it. I got 2 of them, but I'm gonna go with this one first. The Longest Yard, the one with Adam Sandler in it.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
that's my all-time favorite.
Bob Sapp Bob Sapp, dude.
Yep.
Michael Irving, Terry Crews.
It was so good.
Longest Yard, Sandler edition. Chandler, number 2. Let's do it.
Am I 2 here? We're going with a movie that I basically poised my identity on growing up as a child. Maybe not a child, but a adolescent. Coach Carter. Man, the life lessons you can learn from that movie are indescribable and will last you an entire lifetime. Great movie.
Jeez, yeah, well, that's mine. That was one of my picks. Probably would have taken it 1. I think I would think out of this group it could slide to 2.
It could. I couldn't risk it. I couldn't risk it.
Yeah, that was such a big pick. You really messed up my draft board there.
You're
but
welcome.
We're gonna recover because with my first pick, I'm taking Remember the Titans.
Nice.
Ooh.
And then I'm going to come back around because we serpentining around here. I'm coming back around and I'm taking Glory Road with my second pick. Okay, don't be too quiet.
Yeah, you're missing me on that one.
Don't be too Glory Road? Y'all never seen Glory Road?
I'm sorry. Yeah.
Oh my God. Y'all have to.
What is that, bro?
It's a basketball movie about Texas Southern El Paso, whatever. But no, it's a great movie. It's about when they didn't want the African American players to play, but the coach was like, I want to win. And he was, it's one of those movies. But anywho, y'all don't
all. It's a Disney movie, man. That's cute.
Dude.
Hey, Disney made some pretty good sports
I'm just
movies.
messing. I'm just messing around.
No, that's fun. I like that I'm like the first one that everyone was like, is that the first miss of the draft?
Shit.
All right, Chandler, you number 2.
Number 2, Moneyball. Got to get my baseball film in there.
I love that movie, and I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
That is my tied favorite.
Yeah.
I could watch that movie all day. Yeah.
Moneyball. Yeah, it was fantastic. And I actually think Jonah Hill was the best part of that movie.
For sure.
I'm Peter Brand.
Yeah.
All right, Colby, your second pick.
I'm going with Happy Gilmore.
Dude, he's got a theme. He's got a theme.
Colby's got 2 Sandler movies.
Sandler's a goat when it comes to sports movies.
If you pull a third, man, and take mine from me, I'm gonna be upset.
No, just showed your hand.
Did I?
Third pick, Colby.
Maybe. I'm going with Space Jam.
Nice.
Space
How
Jam
was that not one from all of us?
Space Jam.
I'm happy with my picks.
Freaking beast, bro.
That's such a good. I'm gonna be honest. Space Jam's not even in my pool.
Yeah,
and I don't know why. I love Space Jam.
I missed it. 2, right? Space Jam 2 with LeBron.
With LeBron,
Mr. James,
LeBron,
the king.
All right, Chandler, third pick.
I got Hustle because Adam Sandler.
Oh, new pick. Okay.
New pick. Yeah, new movie. Hustle. Better than Uncut Gems.
Oh yeah. I totally forgot about that.
It was fantastic. Yeah. I just also based on a true story. So my 1, 2, 3 are based on true stories.
Okay, so I get the third. So my third pick. Y'all all missed out on the Adam Sandler movie. I'm taking The Waterboy.
Yeah, all right. That's fine.
Yeah,
that's fine. I'm okay with it.
That's fine.
I'm okay with it.
The Waterboy. Okay, and then I will come back around with my fourth pick, and I'm drafting Semi-Pro from Will Ferrell.
I knew it. I knew with never 100% certainty that was on your list.
Dude, that's one of the best, man. Yep. He was the coach, the power
the GM, the owner.
The owner.
Yeah.
Come on, man. Yeah. All right, Chandler, fourth
and
pick.
the check decliner. Yeah. All in the same movie.
We don't even got corn dogs.
I'm gonna go with his comedy counterpart in this sense, Dodgeball.
Yep.
Can I get
what a pick?
Yeah.
What a pick.
That's a good one, buddy.
Average Joe's. Yeah.
All right, Colby. Fourth pick.
I'm gonna go with The Sandlot.
Oh, yep. Nice.
Yep.
Also missed my
all-time
list.
Great.
Man.
All-time great. Love Sandlot.
Okay, Colby. And then to finish out your list.
Dude, I'm torn between 2.
We can talk about honorable mentions, but this this guy's going in the game. He's going in the fourth quarter.
Put me in, coach.
Friday Night Lights.
Oh,
yep.
I'm glad we hit it though.
Yep. I'm glad that was mentioned for sure.
I'm glad we hit it. Just like I have to hit this one. I'm actually kind of surprised it made it to 5, but maybe it didn't have the impact, on y'all as it did on me. Field of Dreams.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Just classic,
for sure.
And my last pick. This is a personal favorite. I don't know what the masses think of it, but I'm gonna finish it out with Lords of Dogtown, the skateboarding movie.
Okay.
I had that movie on my PSP where you could just buy the single movie for the PSP. I watched that joint all the time. Stacy Peralta.
It's a great movie.
Stop playing with me. Okay.
Great movie.
All right, so that finishes it out.
Yeah, round us out, Brandon.
Okay, so here are the teams, and I'm not gonna lie, Chandler, you had me until Hustle.
Okay.
Because it's new. Like we're going off nostalgia. You know what I'm saying?
Watched it?
I've seen it. Yes.
Yeah.
Bo Cruz. I know.
It was
fantastic.
Good.
Okay, it's a good movie. I'm not saying it's not. We're talking about. Okay, so
I know
Colby's team kind of OP. The Longest Yard.
Yeah.
Happy Gilmore, Space Jam, The Sandlot, and Friday Night Lights.
Those are all classics.
Holy shit. Okay.
And we're dating ourselves here, but that's fine.
Chandler, Coach Carter, my pick. Moneyball, Hustle, Dodgeball, Sleeper. Dodgeball, it didn't come to my mind when I thought of sports movies. Dodgeball and Field of Dreams is your team. And then I rounded out with Remember the Titans, Glory Road, The Waterboy, Semi-Pro, and Lords of Dogtown.
Can I go ahead and bring up something that wasn't on y'all's list?
Yeah.
Cool Runnings.
The snowboarding movie?
The Jamaican bobsled team, man.
Fire, dude. No, I'm going to be honest. I thought that my pool would go untouched. And then you went Coach Carter first pick. He goes, I don't think so, sir.
That's what I do. It's going to happen in the draft too, just so you know.
Me and Cole were talking about that. I said, Chandler's going to drive up the price on players he knows I like.
Yeah, that's why we're doing this, right? So I can gain draft knowledge. I'm dipping out of this in like 3
After the
weeks.
draft. It's like Chandler was supposed to show up, but I haven't heard from him.
Yeah, we drafted already and it's over.
Chandler's on a beach somewhere with his 2023 championship belt just wrapped on his shoulder. I'm
Still
out,
waiting
guys.
for it. If this ever gets to Ricky, send it over, man.
Okay, you guys want to jump into? You want to do player perspective?
Well, yeah. Did Colby,
it.
you had some honorable mentions or what?
Oh yeah, I mean, I had like freaking 11 on this thing.
Okay.
We Are Marshall, Any Given
Yep.
Sunday,
Yep.
White Men Can't Jump,
Any Given
Yep.
Sunday. Yeah.
and where else did I have? The Mighty Ducks.
Yep. I
Oh,
thought
dude.
someone for
Yeah.
sure was gonna pick.
I
the
don't know
Mighty
how
Ducks.
that blinked me.
Yeah, but those are my honorable mentions.
I had two.
I could
that
have
we didn't
easily thrown in
consider
We Are
sports.
Marshall because that was
so
a
good.
true story and
Yeah.
stuff.
So good. I had Free Solo. For anybody that hasn't seen that movie, go check it out. And then Ford versus Ferrari.
Ooh,
Great
see,
movie as well.
I've wanted to watch that. I haven't gotten to it though.
Oh, it's very good.
What about Gridiron Gang? Anybody?
That's good too.
That's a
Oh,
good
yeah.
one.
Yeah, that's a
The Rock.
classic.
Gridiron Gang's pretty good.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of a meme. Like I think as far as fandom goes, I think people realize it's kind of a shit movie, but we liked it so much because
Yeah.
The Rock was so serious. We're doing things my way,
It was
not
a big
your
deal.
way,
It
my
was a big
way.
deal when it happened.
Dude. Okay, so we're gonna jump into some player perspectives for you guys who don't know. We do a player perspective. That's where we show you two players side by side with their names and faces, blank, just the stats, and you have to ask yourself which player you would rather have. So let's jump into Chandler's.
Let's go.
I don't know if you guys can see.
We have starting pitchers for the fantasy season 2023 last year.
So we got a similar situation we ran into last week where we got one who can throw some Ks, but not too far off from the other guy.
Not too far off.
One guy wins more.
Exactly the same.
You got
number
two
of
dudes who
innings
played the
pitched.
exact amount of innings. That's crazy.
Mm-hmm. And I'll even give y'all a hint because I feel like the hint actually makes it harder. They're on the same team.
They're on the same team. Can I take a guess?
Yeah, send it.
Merrill Kelly, Zach Gallen.
Not it.
Damn. That was a good idea.
That's a decent guess. Yeah,
Okay.
that's a decent 1-2 punch.
Why do I feel like this is the Orioles?
It's not.
Why was that so funny?
Well,
it's
I don't
not.
I don't feel that way now. So
Yeah.
He's like, no, I changed my mind now that you said it like that.
I was gonna give another hint because this is number 2 and number 3 in the rotation for this team. This does not even involve the ace.
Why do I feel like this is the Tampa Bay Rays?
It's also not the Rays.
Oh, it's gonna go down.
Dude,
is this the
okay.
Texas Rangers?
You got 28 teams left. Let's go.
Is this the Texas Rangers?
Nope.
Damn it.
Dude, this is tough. They're so close too. My goodness.
They're in Houston's division.
This is Seattle.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so
Castillo.
Nope.
Oh yeah.
Is this Kirby and Gilbert?
This is Kirby and Gilbert.
Kirby and Gilbert. Yep.
Kirby is being drafted for $24 right now, while Logan Gilbert's averaging 16.
Think about it.
Gilbert's on the left, right?
$8 difference. Yeah, Kirby's on the left, Gilbert on the right.
Gilbert's on the right.
Yep. So $8 difference for basically the exact same stats.
Kirby got 8 up in spring training the other day. I think it was yesterday.
Oh, everybody will settle down. It's all jitters.
Yeah. I like that. That was a good one. I like that we guessed it before. I like that one. Okay.
Yeah.
Now we're going to do mine. We're going to go to the football side of things. And boop, boop.
It's Arian Foster.
It's an Arian Foster. Okay. So we have 2. This is from last season. This is 2 NFL wide receivers. Obviously from last season, so both are still playing. What are we thinking, boys? Give me your initial thoughts.
Hollywood Brown.
No. Initial thoughts? Right over left from a fantasy perspective.
Mm-hmm.
Just touchdowns and points, obviously. Rushing attempts is 0-0. Who's on the left there? 3 for 18. That's not very high, but just 3 rushing attempts all year. Last year.
And so we have 6 more catches for the guy on the right. I mean, 3 more catches. I'm
Yeah,
dyslexic.
3.
Leave me alone. And we got a guy that's obviously makes more plays, yards after catch, or makes bigger receptions, less touchdowns, and you'll understand why whenever we reveal.
I think the
Why do I
right is
feel like
Adam Thielen.
No, sir.
All right.
All right, I quit.
Mike Evans?
No.
Mm-mm. Oh shit, 1,000 yards. Thielen didn't have 1,000 yards.
Yeah, he did. Last year he did.
Did he?
Hmm.
Left is Nico Collins.
No.
Shit. Tank Dell.
No. It's
We're
the
just all
Right
about the
is Nico
Texans, man.
Collins.
No, none of them are Nico Collins.
Yeah, all right. Give us a hint. AFC, NFC. Let's go.
Okay. Well, I'm with how smart I am with sports, which is not very smart. I am terrible with conferences.
I just wanted to put you on the spot.
Yeah, so that would be the worst person to tell you that. I will say, if I could give you a hint,
Yeah.
the one on the right is a bigger name, and the one on the left is somewhat of a youngster.
Well, that makes sense from the rushing attempts.
Yeah, they don't give the ball to older guys.
Yeah.
DJ Moore?
No.
No.
So
Youngster.
we'll say it like this: the right is in
Tank
the
Dell.
God damn. The right is in the
17 games, no
NFC,
chance.
and the left is in the AFC.
Thank you.
Right is in NFC, left is in AFC.
Is right AJ Brown?
No.
Shit. All right. I'm almost
All
out
right.
of guesses.
Okay. Just let me know when you want me to reveal. It's pretty interesting.
Wait, which one do you find the more interesting?
Left.
Reveal right first then.
Okay.
Tell us who that guy is.
On the right is DK Metcalf.
Metcalf.
Okay.
On the left is George Pickens.
No
Really?
way.
Yes, sir.
I'm about to say
Ain't
Gabe
no
Davis.
way.
So the reason why George Pickens has 5 touchdowns is because he had Kenny Pickett and Mason Rudolph.
Yeah.
And Mitch Trubisky throwing to him.
But kick returns? I didn't know he
I mean, he returned 1, but
still.
that's for 7 yards. It's probably an onside kick, but
likely
he was probably on the hands team. But how about that? DK Metcalf on your right, George Pickens of the Steelers on your left.
That's a good one. That's a
a really good one.
I found this one early in the week, and I just was so excited to talk about
Stuck on it.
I could not get enough, dude. But yeah, George Pickens, DK Metcalf.
And the Steelers beat the Seahawks, apparently, in their single head-to-head matchup last year.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting that they put that in there. But
yeah.
Okay, so that is our player perspective. Colby, you want to get into some golf stuffs?
What's that?
I don't even know, dude.
I think you take a club and start digging.
Just take a effed up little stick.
Let's talk about this, Colby.
Okay, so guys, this is the Cognizant Tournament.
Yep.
This used to be called the Honda Classic. They changed the name. There are a lot of big names in this tournament. So we got a lots to go off. Honda's been around for a long time, so we do have a lot of metrics to go off of. The basic consensus of this tournament is putter. If you're putting good, you're probably winning, or you're at least successful. I chose a few of these based off of feel. Kind of like if this guy's doing good, then odds are he's going to do even better. Just a lot of this was a lot of feel here. I know there's a lot of metrics I go off of, but this was more feel. I want to start off by going with Byung. What is his name? Byung Hun On. It's hard to pronounce his name. He's only done, I think, 4 tournaments. He started off super hot. He finished like 2nd and 4th in his first 2. And he's kind of faded off a little bit, but as of late, he has been hitting really well. He's going for 10K, and he's -4 right now. He's one of those guys that if he's hot, he's hot. We're going to stick with it, and I think he's worth a 10K. There was a lot of 10Ks in here too. Some of them were overpriced, mind you. Rory McIlroy was going for 12K. Unbelievable. I don't understand why these guys are putting out 12K on like Tony Finau on the last one. Tony Finau played good. Don't get me wrong. Not 12K worth. I like to put my money somewhere else. Like, look how I got 8,000, 8,000, 8,000, 7, and then I got 1-6, a high 6 too. So that's kind of how I like to do my thing when it comes to doing the lineups and whatnot. I like to spend maybe a high 9 to a low 10, so that way I can delegate my money. So I saw On as somebody that I really needed to pick up at 10. So he's playing good. He's hot. Let's run with it. Mind you, this is for the second day too. This is not for the first day. This isn't for the whole tournament. This is for tomorrow. This is for the how players play that specific day. That's what we're going with. All right. We don't want to wait till Sunday to get our money. We want to see what it is at the end of the tournament. So we want our money now. So so we're running with On 10K. Sorry that took a while for just one person, but here we go.
There you go. So we got hold up. We posted this on Friday. So is this a Friday thing or a Saturday thing?
This will be tomorrow, Friday.
Friday. All right. So this is
this will be this Friday. Yeah, Friday. This will be on Friday.
Cool.
So, okay. So we got who else we got? We got Jake Knapp. Was it Jake Knapp? I believe he is going for 8,800. He won the last tournament. He won the Mexico Open, and I like to run with guys who usually win things or get in top 3. It shows that they're in that mindset of playing in the top. So it's like one of those feel things. If he finished great in the last tournament, then odds are he's still probably riding a hot stick. So we're gonna go with Knapp for sure. And he's sitting at -3. Obviously, you can see if you can get to 3 under to 4 under, you have a good chance to be in the top 15. You just don't mess up. Eric Cole messed up really bad today. He's arguably one of the best putters on this course, and he shot 8 or 7 over today. Just completely, catastrophically died today. Yeah, he hasn't shot.
Catastrophically died.
He has not shot that bad for the last 10 tournaments. Like the worst he's ever done was like a +4, and he went +7 this time. Just double bogeys, and oh man, it was bad. Anyways, back to the lineup. So we're going with Knapp at 8,800. We're going with McNeely at 8,700. McNeely is arguably the best putter in the PGA right now. If he's not the top putter, he's top 3 no matter what. And he's good with the Bermuda grass. I was talking with Brandon before this. The
Floridian Bermuda grass.
Well, that's what I called it. I don't know if they call it Floridian, but it's in Florida.
That's what it's called.
It's gotta be.
So if it's in Florida, it's Floridian.
Yeah, and so McNeely is one of those guys that is really good on Bermuda grass. Yes, the stats get that serious and that technical. That's how we choose some of our lineups. And McNeely, I can't keep him out. He's sitting at -1. He's not the best golfer in the world, but at this tournament, I think that putting is going to win you something, and McNeely is arguably the best, so that says something to me. I'm going with McNeely at 8,700.
Yep.
Billy Horschel, he's kind of old school. He's going for 8K. He's one of those guys that, if he's not doing well, he's probably not going to do well for the rest of the tournament. But if he's sitting at -5, I'm going to put money on Horschel because he's one of those guys, if he shoots extremely well the first day, it's hard for him to die off. Horschel's an OG in the game. Say what?
He's momentum based.
Yeah, momentum based, and a lot of these picks are momentum based. And Horschel's one of those guys that if he's riding high, he might win the damn thing. That's just how good this guy is when it comes to the flame. He'll burn hard. He'll burn bright. If he's especially shooting a 5 under on the first day, so I'm gonna go with that guy for sure. So we got 7,400 for Nick Dunlap. That's the rookie, man. He just became a rookie 3 tournaments ago. His second tournament after this first tournament, he was, like I said, he won as a rookie this year, and he made the transition to professional. His second tournament was not very good. He didn't shoot very well, but it seems like the kid's turning on. He's sitting at -4 right now, and young kid looking to win something else. I know it's probably not practical, but you know what? Another thing about these young kids, if they're riding hot, they're riding hot. Sam Bennett did that stuff last year. I think it was at the Masters, and the dude finished top 5, and he just kept playing and playing and playing, and it's just one of those flames that never went out. So we're gonna ride with the rookie, Nick Dunlap. First year as a professional, playing really good. Sitting at -4 right now. We're gonna run with that guy. And my 6,800 pick is Chad Ramey. Ramey, however you want to stir that pot. He's in first place right now at 7 under. Chad Ramey has proven that he can win a tournament. This guy is unbelievable when he's riding hot. Obviously, you can see he's sitting at 7 under. And he's at 6,800 for tomorrow. So that's insane. That guy should be in the 8K, especially at 7 under. So you have to put Chad Ramey in your lineup for this tournament on the second day. He's another guy that rides hot. Keep with him. And he has proven to win a tournament. If he's sitting at the top 5 at the end of this, odds are he's probably going to stay there. He might be second or even win the damn thing. So Chad Ramey all the way. So we're going with On, Dunlap, Horschel, Knapp, Neely, and Ramey. That expense everything that you got in your salary cap. There are not a whole lot of names that I would throw in there. These are the guys that I kind of have a good feel for, so I'm gonna run with them tomorrow.
You know what that means? I got 5 on it. I'm putting 5 on it, and then we're gonna let it rock. But as always, my favorite part of the podcast, Colby's golf. So, and as always, we're gonna transition to some leather slanging, beat 'em up, fighting stuff. So, with my UFC picks, we do have a fight this weekend, this Saturday. It's an early card. I think it starts at 12:30. So that's fun. But it's kind of a sleeper of a card, I'm not gonna lie. Is there a lot of talent on the card? Absolutely. Is the casual fan, the average fan, gonna know some of these people? Absolutely not. But those ironically become some of the best fights. So quickly, we're not going to dive too much into it, but I'm going to give you I'm going to start doing this. I'm not saying take my parlay. I'm going to give you 5 bets that you could take them individually. You could take them as a parlay. Obviously, the money's better if you take it as a parlay. But here's what I'm thinking. The card is headlined by Jairzinho Rosenstruck versus Shamil Gaziev. So Rosenstruck has been around for a little bit. He either knocks people out or gets knocked out. That's how it goes. And then Gaziev is the new 12-0 heavyweight that finishes people. He's a scary dude. So this fight's going to last about 35 seconds. So, I mean, it's going to be over fairly quickly. And then big Tyson Pedro fan. He's the co-main at light heavyweight going against Vitor Petrino. Mohamed Mokaev, this guy he's like 21. How old is this dude? He's like super young, 23, and undefeated going against Alex Perez. Alex Perez fought for the flyweight belt back in the day. So we got a former title challenger here. Khabib's cousin, Umar Nurmagomedov, is fighting. Matt Schnell, Eric Anders. These Basharat twins are beasts. So there's some talent on this card. Here's what I'm thinking. Okay, so I guess we'll go.
The opposite.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. You can do whatever you want. So I'm doing. I'm going a little more detail with mine. So let's start off with this fight right here: Leroy Duncan versus Claudio Ribeiro. I'm saying this fight goes under 2.5 rounds.
Holy Roy.
So this one's ending under 2.5. So I like that bet quite a bit. Okay, then we're gonna go to Matt Schnell, Steve Erceg. I'm saying this fight goes over 1 round. They're flyweights. Flyweights typically tend to go the distance in the fight. These guys can be finishers at times, but I think the fight will go over 1 round. And then we are going to go Alex Perez versus Mokaev. I'm taking Mokaev outright to win. So over Alex Perez, I'm going him. Vitor Petrino, Tyson Pedro. I'm saying this fight also is under 2.5 rounds. These are 2 finishers. So I'm saying this fight goes under 2.5 rounds. And then outright, I am taking Gaziev over Rosenstruck. And if you were to parlay those bets I just gave you, 50 gives you 255. It's at plus 511. So the bets I really like is Leroy Duncan, Ribeiro, under 2.5 rounds, Schnell, Urseg over 1 round. Mokaev outright. Pedro, Petrino under 2.5 rounds. And then Gaziev outright.
Hard to go against the undefeated heavyweight at 12-0.
Dude, if you
That's
just
a
want to
tough
take a
feat to
gander
accomplish.
at this dude, anybody that has a chin strap like that with no mustache and no hair, leave him alone. Leave him alone. Don't talk to him.
That's
Because
the
he's
rule.
sitting there. Look at these. Look at every single one of his fights. Round 1 stoppage, 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 round 2 stoppage, round 1 stoppage. Split decision, round 2 stoppage, round 1 stoppage, round 1 stoppage, round 2 stoppage. So it's this fight will last. Like, don't get a drink while the fight's going on because it's gonna be over by the time you get back. So that'll be fun, but that's what I got for UFC. Can't wait to put that out. If people comment and tell me that I'm wrong, because I mean,
me.
Because they're right.
It's gonna be me. No, I'm like, dude, if you knew what was gonna happen, let me know so we can win together.
Like, it's no fun for you to say that he was wrong after the fact, right?
Well,
right.
I don't know until
come
it's
up
done.
with something of your own, you know? Let's see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just like, here's the thing. I understand that I'm putting myself out there to get made fun of, and it's all with part of the game. Yeah.
Part of the
So
plan.
let's
Mile and wave.
transition into baseball. I think we're 23 days away from the big draft.
Well, now you're gonna make me check.
I've been looking at. So I find myself just kind of staring at the countdown sometimes. I'm just looking at the seconds go down, but we are
Yeah, we're in
dangerously
22-day status.
22 days away from the big fantasy baseball draft. We talk about it
Stop playing with my emotions.
every single podcast. We tell y'all we are in a huge salary cap fantasy baseball draft, and we are ranking positions episode after episode. We are on Shortstop.
Trying to get you all as prepared as possible because us doing the research, we already know what we're doing.
I like to think I know what I'm doing. And I think I'm going to, so we're talking shortstops. I think I'm going to set it off with my list. I have the best list in the game because there's no rhyme or reason for any of them. I just tell you some guys I like and guys to look out for if we're talking draft. My number 1 shortstop is Seagy Too Easy, Corey Seager. Dude is an absolute monster. Dude had like 477 at-bats, but cranked 30-something homers. Unbelievable. Can he stay healthy is honestly the biggest question. And that's to be seen. If this guy gets 500 plus at-bats and he's hitting at the same juice that he was hitting at last year, he could creep up to 40 homers. And that's unbelievable. So Corey Seager is my number 1 shortstop. Number 2, Bobby Witt. That's my guy. He's going to crank a lot of homers. He's going to steal a lot of bases. He's going to get extra base hits. The only thing that's holding him down is his team. Will there be enough guys on base for him? Obviously, I believe he's going to lead off again this year, right? Or are they doing something different with that?
You're really going to ask me? That's one of the only lineups I don't have pulled up right now.
He has every lineup pulled up.
Except for
He's
this
like,
one.
I have 29 lineups pulled up, not Kansas City.
No,
but no,
not even joking.
I know he led off last year. I guess we'll look up to see if that's going to continue, but he just needs to get some guys on base. I'd like to see him move down 2-3 hole, but it is what it is.
It looks like the popular consensus this year for shortstops is the 2-hole.
2-hole. Yeah. I something's got to give, but the dude signed a massive contract. I think he's going to go stupid this year. Bobby Witt is my number 2 shortstop. Number 3, Francisco Lindor. The only bad thing is he plays for the Mets. That's the only thing. And it's not, I don't even hate the Mets. It just seems like everything goes wrong for that franchise. And that is why that would be a little hesitant in picking him in the draft, just because the Mets, the whole thing could just burn up at any given moment. But dude steals bases, dude cranks homers, and you're hoping that everything goes right for that ball club because I like what he's got going on there. And I think he's getting better, to be honest. I think he's getting more consistent. So I've got Francisco Lindor at 3. Number 4, I got Gunnar Henderson. That's my boy. He's on the Orioles. We all know my opinion on really good teams. I think it just flows throughout the clubhouse. And I think he's obviously getting better as, I think
No
last
doubt.
year
No
last
doubt.
year was his full rookie year.
Mhm.
I think he's cranking extra base hits. He'll steal a bag or two. Now I don't think he's going to be in the high 20s, but he'll be in the teens when it comes to stolen bases, extra base hit galore, and he's on a good team that will have a lot of people on base. So Gunnar Henderson at 4. Again, my list, it's not who I think is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's just who I feel like talking about. And at number 5, a guy that I always envy is not on my team, and I always want him every year, and that's Bo Bichette. I got him at 5. I just love his game. He's fun to watch. When again, like Corey Seager, can he stay healthy? That is the number one question. If he does, I think there's a lot to like about this Blue Jays team. I'd like to see a full season. Maybe this is a year where he gets everything on track. Um, Love him. That's my dude. Number 5. Guys to watch out for, CJ Abrams for
Nice.
Washington. Dude's going to steal a lot of bases, get a lot of extra base hits. Again, it's Washington. Really, Lane Thomas is the other guy on that team that can get on base. Everybody else, it's a question mark. So I like him as a guy to take a big step into his next year in his career. If we're talking straight value, a guy that when you look at fantasy points projections, I think he's in the mid 20s, but I think if that's the case, he should be going later in the draft. And I think you can get him and really get some value. Dansby Swanson for the Cubs.
Ooh, okay.
I think he's ranked 25th as far as shortstops and total points. He plays almost every single day, has decent pop on his bat, can steal some bases every now and then. I think he's not far removed from stealing 20 plus. So I definitely think Dansby Swanson for the value pick is available. And then my last guy to look out for, I'm going to go O'Neal Cruz, Pittsburgh.
Nice.
I think obviously injuries is a big thing. If spring training means anything, he's looked super good so far in spring training. He's stealing bases, he's smacking extra base hits. I think there's ironically a lot to like about the Pittsburgh Pirate team, especially when you look at the bats. The bullpen outside of Mitch Keller or the rotation outside of Mitch Keller is a little But when you're looking at the bats, I think there's a lot to like on Pittsburgh. I
Mhm.
think I think they're going to put up a good amount of runs this year, and I think O'Neal Cruz will be a big part of that. So that's my list, and that's who I got to talk about. Who's going next? Colby?
Yeah, we want to leave Chandler for last because that's just
Give him his
gold right
runway.
there.
Give him
So
his runway.
Give him his
We
runway.
give him the
play
runway,
to our
red
players'
carpet.
strengths.
Let
That's
me
what we
talk.
do.
Let me talk.
I think well, at least the first list will be kind of similar, Brandon. But my first is I don't care who is out there. He could be the best shortstop in the league. Francisco Lindor is my number one. I've always liked
Nice.
him. He's it, and like I said, I've always liked him since he was in Cleveland. He's jacked over 30 home runs last year. That's quite a bit for him. And I just like him. He's one of my favorite shortstops to watch. That's more of like a bias pick right there. So,
Hey,
but obviously,
we don't have
obviously a top five
rules
pick.
on this podcast. No rules. Talk about you want
Yeah.
to talk about Jeremy Pena? Talk about Jeremy Pena.
To talk about Jared Pena. But yeah, Francisco Lindor, my number one, and then number two obviously is going to be Bobby Witt Jr. Smacked over, or he smacked 30. Batting at 275. Dude's a stud, talent, young cat. Just he's got a bright future ahead of him. Number three, I got Corey Seager. Holy crap, 325 batting average with 33 home runs. That's insane. Talented dude. He's got a 1.009 OPS, which is crazy as well. Obviously, that's going to be somebody in your top five. And then number four, I got Trey Turner from the Phillies. Right, Phillies? Yeah, Phillies.
Yep.
Um, 266 batting average, 26 home runs. He's just a good player. He's kind of up there. Like he's one of my favorite, like Francisco Lindor. Love to watch that guy play. He's so good. And then number 5, we got Bo, the Machete Bachetti. He's batting 300, over 300, over 320 home runs. Like to see him hit a little bit more. But he's a stud as well. 811 OPS. And like Brandon said, like to see him a little bit more healthier. I'd like to see a whole season for him. My Ion prospects, guys, I'm looking for if I can't get any of those guys. Well, odds are I can't. O'Neal Cruz. I got Jeremy Pena, Ellie De La Cruz, Ellie De La Cruz, and CJ Abrams.
Hey, we had similar ideas.
Yeah, I think we're all going to be in
O'Neal and
relatively
CJ.
the same bucket.
Yep. You know what? Hold on. One more that I'm just going to just throw out there. Ezekiel Tovar for the Rockies.
Yeah, love it.
He's a dog. I like him.
It's hard to completely count out any Rockies hitter because they play in Colorado.
Yeah, exactly.
Especially down the stretch after the All-Star break in the season, you need somebody to replace somebody that got hurt. Look to Colorado. That's a good rule.
Now, after me and Colby talked, let's let the fantasy champion talk. Okay,
yeah,
we got ours out of the way. Let the fantasy champion talk.
We're gonna sort through this, right? So my number 1 overall, without a shadow of a doubt, if he stays healthy. So I guess there's a little bit of a doubt. Corey Seager, just hands down. He averaged 6.6 points per game. Say that 10 times fast. That's 791 total over only 477 at bats. So he's projected for over 550 at bats this year. And so I can easily see him topping 100 runs, 100 RBIs, and 40 homers as just stay healthy. And if my guy's in there, we're going to see something like Ronald Acuña season last year outside of the steals from a points-based standpoint. Number 2, Bobby Witt Jr. He had the most at-bats out of any shortstop last year. I expect the same this year. He's not going to come out of the lineup. Sure, their offense isn't very pop-worthy, so to speak. But I'd see him repeating the exact same stat line he had last year. Over 30 homers, over 40 steals. It's hard to see him do better than he did last year just because that was an outstanding season. But I won't be surprised if he starts creeping up towards that 900 threshold. Coming to number 3 is Trey Turner. Y'all know I'm a big believer of the second year in baseball. It is not football. It's not a sophomore slump. It is a sophomore resurgence. Give him another year on that team. Look for Trey to come out the gates hot. There is no World Baseball Classic this year. There isn't anything to base his judgment off of or waste all of his talent on before the season actually starts. So look for him to come out the gates incredibly hot. He could easily be a 30-30 guy, 30 homers, 30 steals. And he was second last year in at-bats. I expect the same this year. Again, somebody that's never going to come out of the lineup. Coming in at number 4, Bo Bichette. Arguably, not even arguably, I admit he had a down year last year. If he can return to his 2021 form, which I believe he can, he is well deservedly of this spot or the 3rd spot. 100. In 2021 he put up 100 runs and 100 RBIs. He's also has a career average of 300, and he's batting anywhere from the 2 to 4 hole in one of the top 5 most prolific offenses in the MLB. Last year he spent a lot of time at the 2 hole. Towards the last 6 weeks of the season, he went to the cleanup spot. We'll see where they let him ride. It doesn't really matter as long as this guy shows up every 2 to 3 innings. We're good to go. Coming to number 5, my definition of consistency over the last 2 years at the shortstop position, Francisco Lindor. He's been healthy. He's been able. He's been crushing it. He's a switch hitter that plays every single day. Like I said, this is over the last 2 years, which is a hard metric to actually rectify and come to standards with. A lot of people have a hard time staying healthy over 1 year, much less 2 in a row with 600 plus at bats. And as Brandon touched on, he is one of 2 bright spots in the New York Mets lineup. It is him and Nimmo, and it's going to be Nimmo and him in the batting order. And I think that they play.
I thought it was Pete Alonso.
No, not the bright spot. And if y'all missed that, go ahead and check out my take on Pete Alonso, because he's my flop at first base this year. Honorable mention for me, coming at number 6, could easily be number 5, right there with Francisco. That is Gunnar Henderson. We're not going to talk too much about him. Just expect him to have a very exciting year and kind of surpass all expectations. as far as a number metric goes for that guy. Y'all know I like to do an outside the top 10. In this instance, 10. Technically, if you're looking at your fantasy league right now, it's going to say Matt McClain, but that guy's going to be playing second base. I want to give you all accurate information as far as position to position. So we'll call Ellie De La Cruz number 10 here. I personally think it's a perfect number 10 for him because he is electric as they come, but he's also really, really good at striking out. So if he can figure that out, whatever. But the balance is there at this point in time. First person to look out for outside the top 10, JP Crawford. He almost cracked 600 points last year. He had 575. He had a career year in walks. He also had a career year in strikeouts as far as the low number goes. And that just goes to prove that he's got increased plate discipline. They've got a very, very dangerous Mariners lineup. And if he doesn't lead off, he'll be hitting 2. I expect this guy to lead off. And expect closer to 90 to 95 runs from him rather than the 85 that he's projected for. My number 2 outside the top 10, CJ Abrams. This guy is almost the entire Washington Nationals offense, almost. From stealing bases to hitting homers to hitting extra base hits. He could easily crack 600 points if he gets 600 opportunities at the plate. But look for more pop, look for more extra base hits, look for more discipline, more maturity. And I'm talking increased average, increased on base percentage. And that's going to get him to those 40 plus steals that he got this past year as well. So look for more of the same with that guy, just more opportunity as well. So more output to go with it. Third, coming in outside the top 10, O'Neal Cruz. The Pirates offense, just like y'all said, gained some ground last year. I think they're going to build on that this year. If O'Neal stays healthy, it was a freak accident. The guy broke his leg in practice or in a game, or just shouldn't have happened, right? They might manage him a little bit, but that just means maybe 520 at bats rather than 620 or 606, right? Just don't forget that this guy was Ellie De La Cruz before Ellie De La Cruz showed up. So if he comes back healthy and strong enough to retain form, he's going to be on fire. My flop for this year at the shortstop position, and it's not really a flop because I think that he's just going to repeat last year, but I've put him in this category strictly because last year he was way, way, way overvalued. And his output this last year proved that he was overvalued in the draft. Dansby Swanson. He had all the hype. He had a great year with Atlanta, and everybody thought that he was going to do the exact same thing with the Cubs in his first year. This is not a guy that I think has a sophomore resurgence. I don't necessarily think he slumps. I think what we saw last year is Dansby Swanson. He's not electric, nothing special. He's not going to get you negative points on a daily basis, but he is that high 400, low 500 shortstop that he's for your slash position. If you got a 2B shortstop spot, go ahead, do it. If you're really hurting for utility, go ahead and do it. But just don't pay for this guy. Let other people do that. And my gym, and it's, again, not really a gym because we don't know if he's going to stay healthy, but by golly, if he stays healthy, he's going to be the steal of the draft. Literally, the steal of the draft if he's healthy. Carlos Correa. He's on the Minnesota Twins. The dude still has it. He still has it. He can still play.
Noted.
The only negative, is his injury, and it's a lingering injury in that it's plantar fasciitis, right? So his heel hurts on a daily basis, and that's a big deal for a hitter when everything comes from your lower body, right? So if this guy can overcome it, again, Peyton Manning went through it. Took him like 2.5 years to completely get over it. It's not a light thing to consider, but he's going for $1, maybe $2 at this point in time in the draft. He's still Carlos Correa, which is unreal to me. So again, if he can get over the heel injury or the foot injury, look for him to have a massive bounce back season because he still played fighting through the injury last year. I don't think that's the case this year. I think that they wait for him to be 100% healthy. And once he is, big things to come. That's me.
I'm not going to lie. I'm clipping that because he really just delivered that beautifully.
Thank you.
But it was Colby going, noted.
Dude,
I don't know.
I mean, he's right. I mean, you totally forget Carlos because he had such a down year and he was compared to other years.
$0.8 this year. Not even $1.
So, I mean, you think like that guy was, and when he was playing for the Astros, he was clutch.
He might have been
so
the best.
good.
He might have been the best shortstop in the game when he was playing for the Astros.
And so, I mean, I had him in my head, but not like, that now that you really think about it and considering the injury that he had, he gets over it. Come on now.
Yeah,
he
he
might
still had
sniff top
514
5.
at bats. Yeah, he still had 514 at bats last year, and his production was awful. But again, it's like playing kickball when your kicking foot is shitty. You can't do it well. So
yep,
I'm taking Zach Geloff.
Number 1 at $50. Yeah, I've got it written down.
50.
I can't wait for that bid to go in. I cannot wait.
I'm gonna nominate him first.
You're not gonna nominate him for 50 though.
Watch me.
All right.
Oh.
All right. If this video gets a certain number of views and likes, Brandon will nominate Zach Geloff.
Yo,
$50.
if we can get 100+ likes on any social media platform, I will nominate Zach Geloff for $50.
Ooh.
Y'all go. Send this to everybody you know. I'm about to send this to my parents, my brother, Like, hey, just do me a favor, like on every single thing because my buddy's about to waste some money.
Dude, you can send it to some bots, like that.
Yeah, there
bots
you go. Yeah,
that give you fake likes.
Yep,
dude.
$50 for that guy. Good night.
No, not a chance.
I'll
probably go for 5.
I will ruin my fantasy baseball season for the success of this podcast. Any day of the week.
That's fair.
Yeah, fair.
Noted.
Fair.
Noted.
Yeah. I care a little bit too much about fantasy, which I may not want to admit, that I don't know if I'd tank for anything.
You wouldn't tank for the success of the podcast.
I mean, can I have both?
Let's talk about how I could get both.
Yeah, can I have both?
Yeah, watch Geloff go for over 1,000 points or some shit.
Watch him be the MVP.
Yeah, watch him be the MVP.
He's got it in him, which is insane.
How are we guys legitimately feeling with the draft coming up? Are we sticking with the same strategy that you guys had maybe the year prior? Are there some changes that we're making?
I'm such a I can't see myself paying a lot for a lot of people. I like to get value. I mean, you kind of stick with that, right? You don't want to sit here and overpay for anyone. You always want to. I think we were talking the other day where, like your sweet spot with pitchers. Rarely do you ever hear somebody like super happy that they spent $30 and then they only got an average season. If you're spending $30 on a pitcher, you better win a Cy Young or 40 or 50, whatever it may be. But most of the time when you hear somebody saying something positive about a pitcher is usually when you hear them saying, "Oh, I only spent $10 on him and he was a top 5 pitcher."
Yeah.
So relatively, like that's what I mean. Like I said, me and Chandler were talking about that. Like that's kind of a sweet spot. Like you want to find those diamonds at $10 or $8, whatever it may be.
Yeah.
But I do think that I'm gonna have the best draft ever. I think I'm gonna smoke it this year.
I'm excited for it.
So I know Chandler's answer. Like I know that he has his people. Colby, do you have your people that you have your eye on? Like I'm gonna do it. It might get out of your control, obviously, but do you have some guys that I'm gonna try my best to get this person on my team?
More or less, like I said,
you're just gonna feel it out.
Yeah, and
you have to, right?
You kind of have to. Like, at some point, you're like, I have to have Garrett Cole. Like, I have to or I have to have Bobby Witt Jr.
That's what I did with Bobby Witt last year. I said, I'm paying.
Yeah, you did, and I was
he was really good though.
But no, he did good though. No, he did really good
in the league.
831 last year.
And I didn't. And he didn't. He wasn't on my team to end the year. So
yeah,
all for naught.
But I approach it as how much will I not spend on him? That's how I approach it.
Yeah.
And
I think the moment you get emotional ties to a player is the moment you get exploited in a draft.
Yep.
So if you have somebody that you for sure want and it becomes known to the rest of the league, if they know what they're doing, you're going to pay way more for that player than you ever have any business doing.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm right there with you, Colby, with the starting pitchers. I mean, like you pay 30, 35 for a starting pitcher and then they put up 900, 1,000 points. You expect that, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're like, okay, great.
100%.
I got exactly my money's worth. But it's where you pay the $8 to $11 for a pitcher, and then they put up 200 more than they were actually projected for.
Yep.
That you feel like you won the whole fucking thing, and which is great,
And that goes for every position too, not just
absolutely,
pitchers.
absolutely.
100%.
Yeah, the top guys are not always the top guys because it's a salary cap. Because
there will be guys that you pick at there will be guys that you spend like $1 because no one bidded on them because you put them up, and then oh crap, that guy's a starter. Oh yeah, I get 500 bats, 600 bats out of that guy. Oh okay, I didn't spend anything on him.
Yep,
that's a win. And guess what? That might be a keeper. There's your $1.
Absolutely.
You don't. So there's so many ways that salary cap can go, dude. It's insane.
That's the best part about it.
I definitely think when you're retroactive or in retrospect, looking at the season, the guys that make you smile a little bit are the guys you picked up off waivers, or the guys that you got super low and are now going for higher.
And then those are the guys that you get emotionally attached to. Like, no, I found this
because
guy.
they're mine.
I found this guy. He's my guy.
Yeah, and but
don't let your wives hear.
Those Shohei Ohtani's got to go somewhere.
Yeah,
he's got to go somewhere, and he's got to go for, and he's gonna go for a crazy price. So
yeah,
I'd like to see him on my team.
I got the feeling he's going to go for a price that is predicated on him pitching next year as a keeper. So like he's not going to get drafted for the price that actually, of the points that he puts out this year being simply a designated hitter. I think he'll get drafted in the majority of leagues or keeper leagues anyway, for what he can do in 2025 because he's pitching again that year.
Well, which that's smart because when he starts pitching again, the value goes up.
Absolutely.
So if you miraculously got him for 35 next year, he's probably going to be like 40.
If he's going for 35.
That's just an example. 35, and then oh crap, now he's $15 more. Maybe he's going for 50 next year.
Well, he's going for 37 strictly as a hitter. And the person that waived him as a keeper drafted him for 11 3 years ago.
So letting him go. I mean, I think it obviously.
It's hard.
It's hard. That's off of injury, I guess, and not really injury, but he just doesn't pitch anymore. So
he's not pitching.
I'll spend my 35 somewhere else. Like, I get it, but still, he's gonna probably go over 40 home runs this year. Like that's just my opinion.
Yeah.
So if I can get somebody who hits over 40 for $30-$35, hell yeah, count me in.
I think his only downfall is not being able to slap a position to him at this time. Like you have to have a utility spot.
DH.
You have to have a utility or a DH spot in your league in order to actually play him.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see where Ohtani goes for sure. Who's willing to throw some cash at him?
I'll be putting money on him for sure. I just don't know if I.
I think everybody will.
Yeah, I don't know if I crack the 30 mark on anybody this year.
What's everybody's where's everybody's stopping point on Shohei? That's what it all comes down to.
Right.
Could
Real
be like
quick.
Brandon over here throwing 40, 50 at him.
I don't give a shit, dude. Dude, y'all are so calculated. Me, I'm just in there. I don't do recreational marijuana anymore, but I might take a couple gummies and then do this draft, and y'all gonna see
that might be the secret.
Be like, Brandon has 9 relievers on his team, and how did he draft a football player?
I can trade him though.
Do you remember when Zach Galifianakis is that his name on The Hangover?
Yeah.
When he gets the slick back hair and he's going down the elevator and you just see all the
Rain Man, Man thing?
Just a gummy, and next thing you know, just calculation here.
You guys get beeper service in here?
Yeah, dude, Brandon just put $60 on a.
Dude, how did he get Garrett Cole? He was on somebody's team. How did he do that?
How does he just dropped 60 on Jake Burgers and then sent the shush emoji in the group chat? Like, what is going on?
That's awesome. Goes for like 1,000 points.
Brandon did the entire draft on a Nokia flip phone.
I will say one thing I've been trying to do for years now in a Serpent draft is trade my draft pick. Like
you can do that
with anybody. I don't know.
In some leagues,
I've been trying to.
Yeah.
And even with this salary draft last year, I wanted to trade keepers with somebody.
That would be so cool if you could do that.
Yeah, you can.
I'll give you 2 picks for the first round pick or something.
Yeah.
They do that in some leagues.
Accept that.
I've seen that in football leagues. In some football leagues, I've seen I'll trade you Justin Jefferson and my next year first round pick for
A whole new world.
All right, I think that's our cue. All
Yeah,
right, boys.
that might be it.
Is there anything near and dear to your heart?
I just can't wait for the fantasy baseball draft. That's gonna be so much fun.
Yeah, this one might have been my favorite
you
cast.
on my calendar, dude. I have you. Chandler comes to town on the
Yeah,
22nd, and I put meeting, and then baseball fantasy draft on the 23rd.
We're busy all day on the 23rd.
Dude. And we're gonna have Buffalo Wild Wings.
Y'all are in for a special treat on the 22nd. No, 21st, that Thursday. Because we're gonna do a live Serpentine baseball draft ahead of schedule, just so y'all can see what we can actually do, or what we would do in that instance. It's gonna be all three of us. We're gonna try to, I think, either a 10-man or a 12-man league for a Serpentine draft. Just join anything that's available on ESPN and send that to y'all live. And so if you're interested in that, be sure to catch us. And
that's gonna
it'll
be
a good time. Yeah, it'll be a real good time.
How are we gonna do that again?
Randos.
It's just gonna be a mock, or what are we doing?
Yeah, you get into ESPN has mock draft lobbies with other people, and we're just all three gonna join one, and we're all gonna be in one. I want to
get our viewers to get in there too.
Should we do like one person's high, one person's mid, and one person's low?
A lot of times you don't get the choice, right? If we get in there early enough.
If you get in early enough,
yeah, we can get in early enough, and we can do like a 1-5-10 position, 1-6-10.
Let's see if we can do that. Yeah, hell yeah.
That'd be fun.
And then we'll randomize who gets what. Like we'll do a wheel, and we'll see who gets first, sixth, and 10th.
Is that our first Twitch podcast?
We go on Twitch
live stream.
I'm decent at Twitch.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you go live on TikTok. Colby knows more about that, being the golf extraordinaire.
Oh, short stuff.
TikTok live.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
You need 1,000 to do live. So.
Do you?
Yep. You need.
Okay, we'll be going live
on
later
Short Stuff Golf.
Y'all help us go live. Y'all help us go live.
Colby literally just stunning on us. Hey, you need 1,000 to go live. By the way,
I know this, man.
Because you have 1,000.
Yeah.
Dude,
can you share followers?
Can you gift
I could say go follow
followers?
This guy. I mean, I kind of did. I did a TikTok on that. So go
Mr.
follow.
Famous over here.
Yeah. Anyway, so let's get out of here. Let's sign off. Chandler, you want to sign? Do you want to sign off and give us some words of wisdom?
No, I got nothing. It's just I'd like to end this. I'd like to end this cast better than my last dead face. It's just like it got cut and we're good. But no, I mean, appreciate everybody listening. We come back every single week, and just keep it a lookout, keep an ear out.
Yep. Colby, any words of wisdom before we sign off?
No, man, I'm just ready to go to sleep now.
All right, guys.
This was fun, guys.
We are the Wide 80 podcast. We're out of here.
It's like wide.
See ya.
0.